Wow.
Put a chick in it, make her gay.
They have this Don't Squeeze the Charmin director.
George Whipple, you old sidewinder.
Tex, can you help me stop those ladies from squeezing Charmin bathroom tissue?
Reckon I can. Now, you women folk, stop squeezing that Charmin.
Who is an activist who hates. Now, I get why she hates men. She went up in Pakistan, probably was abused, beat, and all that, but she's got too much baggage. I don't think she's even going to last till the Ray movie starts to film. And if you notice in that first picture I played, Daisy Ridley is beautiful. They had her in short hair. And at first glance, Brett, I really thought that was a guy with her. I didn't have my glasses on.
Well, they've got to
look like a trans man.
They got to fight against the male gaze, because that's toxic masculinity. And that's why I love in Reacher. They have no problem dressing the love interest for Reacher, one of his teammates, one of the special investigators, with some cleavage.
Not one word.
Holy shit.
That's 2 words. Another one and I'll shove this kitten heel right up your ass.
I'm just saying you look nice. You both look nice.
You look like the assholes on top of a wedding cake. Here, I'll pay you back in a month when my pension lands.
Yeah, your pension won't cover that suit, or the hotel room, or the plane ticket.
I'll pay you back in 2 months.
Okay. Everyone ready?
Let's go listen to some boring-ass music. And wash your mouth, boss, you're catching flies.
She's beautiful, right? And she shows it off. And I just think that there's nothing wrong with sexy girls, and there's nothing wrong with big, buff, handsome dudes taking their shirt off, because that's part of why chicks love Reacher. They love seeing Alan Rickson take his shirt off, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's a reason why Tony Scott did the volleyball sequence in Top Gun. Right. And he said that part of it was to get the girls in the theater. And part of how you do that is to have these hunky, sexy dudes take their shirt off and do something. And it's similar to Top Gun Maverick with the beach football scene, where all those guys have their shirts off, and they're in their incredible shape, and they all worked really hard to get in shape for that scene. In fact, they shot it twice. But I just think that there are certain things that work traditionally with men and women to get them into the theater, and sex sells. You don't have to be gratuitous, but it's a fact of life, and there's nothing wrong with that. So why not just embrace it and show beautiful women on stage? It's similar to my issue with advertising right now, where a lot of commercials you see will have very ordinary or sometimes ugly actors cast. And nobody wants to buy anything from somebody who's ordinary or ugly. They want to buy something from somebody because when you buy things, you are realizing your dreams and aspirations. And part of buying the watch or buying the phone or buying the stereo or buying whatever, I don't care what widget it is, the person advertising it or modeling it, you see yourself as. I want to not only own that, I want to be that guy. And part of that is casting handsome, attractive people. And it's no different here. She's a very pretty girl. She's beautiful. They need to work that into the storyline. They need to utilize that, because girls want to see it too. Girls don't want to look at an ugly girl, So I mean, it makes sense to me why they're not doing it, because it aligns with their ethos, which is toxic masculinity, the male gaze. And also there's an element, there is the chip on Kathleen Kennedy's shoulder is the fact that she started out as John Milius's secretary. That's how she was originally hired. She was there to be John's assistant. And then she wasn't very good at it. So Spielberg hired her to be his assistant. And Spielberg said something like, the thing about Kathy is that she's talented, but she seemed to have more of a talent for interrupting everyone mid-sentence when they were throwing down ideas. He said, we brought her on to be an assistant and to write down ideas. Instead, she's throwing out ideas. And that's not what they hired her for. So she's a brilliant producer. She's produced some of my favorite films, our favorite films. So you go back and you look at her record as a producer.
With her husband.
With her husband, Frank. It's impeccable. But even Marcia Lucas has said on the record that Kathy has no idea what she's doing with Star Wars. She said she and J.J. Abrams, they don't get Star Wars. They don't get it at all. In fact, she said it's shit. That's Marcia Lucas. Marcia Lucas is an acclaimed Hollywood editor. She edited Taxi Driver. She edited A New Hope. She ghost edited Empire Strikes Back. She edited Return of the Jedi. She, in a lot of ways, is the muse and I think a lot of the talent behind George Lucas, because when Lucas divorced her, his whole film career kind of turned upside down. So I go back to, the source material, and Marcia is a part of that source material or creating it. And if people from back then are saying that Kathleen Kennedy doesn't know what the hell she's doing and is doing a shitty job, I believe them, because they're the people who were part of the magic that was created around the first three films.
And the Sharman lady is lying because Marcia Lucas was there since the beginning. So there were strong women in Star Wars from the very beginning. Nobody's against that. They're trying to, what I call it is like the Jennifer Lawrence effect.
I remember when I was doing Hunger Games, nobody had ever put a woman in the lead of an action movie.
What?
I remember when I was doing Hunger Games, nobody had ever put a woman in the lead of an action movie.
What did you say? You bitch!
Hi! Feeling a little inadequate? I like pain.
Because it wouldn't work. We were told girls and boys can both identify with a male lead, but boys cannot identify with a female lead.
Oh, absolutely.
And it just makes me so happy every single time I see a movie come out that just blows through every single one of those beliefs.
Not quite.
And proves that it is just a lie to keep certain people out of the movies. To keep certain people in the same positions that they've always been in.
I know. That's the idea.
It's just amazing to watch it happen.
Suck my dick.
Yeah.
You know, it's
Yeah.
like we're the first ones to do that. Well, no, you know what,
No.
hon? You're really not.
No, I mean, one of my favorite book series of all time is the Han Solo trilogy, which was written in the early 2000s, and it's written by A.C. Crispin. It's a 3-book series, and it's about the origin story of Han Solo, and it's excellent. It's fantastic. It's better than the movie. It's better than Solo, if you read it. A.C. Crispin is Anne Crispin. She's a woman, similar to S.E. Hinton. S.E. Hinton, who wrote The Outsiders, and
Oh.
That Was Then, This Is Now. That's a woman. And you'd never think that a woman could write men so well. I never figured that a woman could write Han Solo so well. And I didn't discover that A.C. Crispin was a woman until I was done with the series. So I think that she probably used her initials in order to probably not chase off potential customers who were discovering that a chick is writing Han Solo, but frankly, she does it in an amazing way. One of the greatest writers on the Rockford Files was a woman. It was one of James Garner's assistants who wanted to write a story. She wrote a script. James said, "This is fantastic." And they just kept going because she was fantastic at it. So you never know where you're going to find talent.
And there's strong women out there today. Your Lisa is
Sure.
is perfect at that.
Right.
And
Yeah.
Coulter, who doesn't take crap from the right or the left. You
Yeah.
know. Oh my
Well-
gosh, I love to see her get her hair up. And Kennedy and people like that.
Yeah.
Very
Why didn't-
strong woman. Nobody puts them down. Well,
Why aren't they hiring Catherine Bigelow to do this next Star Wars? Point Break. I love Point Break. I love The Hurt Locker. I think this is the ex-wife of James Cameron, Catherine Bigelow. Incredible talent, incredibly talented. But I'll tell you why they're hiring this Pakistani lady. Partially, it's some kind of weird street cred, right? And then on top of that, she's cheap. Catherine Bigelow would want some money. And that's one thing that you'll notice about the Marvel movies is that in the beginning they were hiring great directors like Jon Favreau and Kenneth Branagh, and then you've got Bryan Singer over on the Fox X-Men films. These are heavyweights. These are incredibly talented directors, and with that comes a price. And obviously you get what you pay for. But I think that Marvel's trying to do this on the cheap, and they think they can go out and get somebody for a bargain, and then they're going to have this personal story of victimhood that's going to somehow connect with people. Oh, this documentary filmmaker, is going to do this amazing job with Star Wars. It's going to be the next flop. And I think that this PR nightmare that we're going through right now with this new Pakistani director, I don't even know her name, and I don't really care, is akin to Rachel Zegler,
right.
Talking all kinds of shit about Snow White. And of course she's done a 180 on that. A 180 or 90-degree turn. I think a 90-degree turn. 180, she'd come back around.
Yeah, she's on the apology tour.
I'm like Anthony Quinn in Last Action Hero. I'm getting my metaphors mixed up. But yeah, I go hire Kathleen Bigelow. Hire Bryce Dallas Howard, who directed some of my favorite episodes in The Mandalorian, or what's her
Patty
name?
Jenkins.
Patty
Jenkins didn't suck.
Well, and there was another woman director on The Mandalorian. I want to say her name's Laura Chen. She's Asian, but she's also fantastic. She directed some of my favorite episodes of The Mandalorian. So there's been plenty of, talented women to come before, this lady. I don't get it, but at the same time, I don't understand really anything Disney is doing. It just seems like they're in this insular bubble and they're listening, kind of like Bud Light. Bud Light had the people from marketing who had the PhDs in diversity and DEI and social justice and all this stuff, and look where it got them. You're seeing largely the same thing going on with Disney, where the marketing stooges are dictating to the creatives, the writers, and everybody, and they're saying, okay, this is what we're going to do, but you need to check off all these boxes and make sure you have this kind of representation, and therefore, we'll be able to build this brand and attract new customers. And it's been quite the opposite.
Hail to the king, baby.